I'm Sara Jane Ho, and this is Mind Your Manners, where no topic is off limits as we uncover the secrets to feeling at ease in every situation. So, Kelsey, I'm excited to turn 40 this week.
Happy birthday week! I truly cannot believe it. I was just saying to you, I'm like, that's fucking crazy that you're turning 40. Excuse my language.
I don't look it.
You look like you're maybe 27. It's sickening to me. I'm so excited for you. But I love it. I'm like, I feel that this day and age, getting older is just become more and more exciting. It used to be like, oh, all right, you have to cut your hair off and you have to be a grandma. And now it's like, no, women are thriving in their 40s and 50s and 60s, and I love it. And you're a perfect example.
And you know what? I feel that life begins at 40. I think Carl Jung said it. He said life begins at 40. Everything before that is just research.
Ooh, I believe that.
Yeah. And I think especially my year of 39, which is now drawing to a close, has really been most life-changing in terms of the research that I've done, the spiritual work, just the self-awareness, the seeing the bigger picture, and yeah, I'm just so excited to be 40.
I love it. Well, and I feel like you've just become more and more comfortable in your skin, right?
Yeah.
And this new skin and this evolved skin. Like, you're a different person, I think, now than when I met you.
Completely.
Like, you're still you,
yeah.
but you've just evolved and elevated so much, you know, and softened. And I'm just excited for you.
And you know, an interesting anecdote I would share. Just the other day, I was on Instagram, and on my For You page, actually no, I was on Red Note. I was on Little Red Book.
Oh, okay.
Which is the Chinese version of Instagram. And I saw this Chinese guy, I think he's American-born Chinese, and he was doing a video, and it said, newsflash. He said, word for word, newsflash, women in China don't use tampons. And I watched the video, I thought, wow, he's copying my content, and he's word perfect.
Hilarious.
Literally, and then I looked at his other videos.
And they're the same?
Mm-hmm. Everyone in China naps after lunch. Da 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 da. Word perfect again.
You know what?
And you know what? Me the younger me would have gotten very angry. Would have sent him a message being like, stop copying, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Would have let myself sort of, just get bothered by it. Me at basically 40, especially me post-Kabbalah,
yeah.
I looked at it and I thought, pause, what a gift. Because this is what my Kabbalah teacher, David Guillaume, and those of you who haven't seen that episode, go check it out. So I thought, so David Guillaume says to say, don't be reactive and don't act from a place of reactive or lack or like upset. Think to yourself, pause, what a gift. What is this showing me? What is the opportunity for me to expand my soul here? And so I thought I didn't do anything. I just thought about it. I thought about it for a day. And then also what Kabbalah says is when you increase your frequency or expand your light, other people will do things like you. They'll copy you.
Totally.
And so I thought, well, then this is a good thing. Like, isn't that an amazing thing? And then I also realized, you know what? I don't own my content. I'm just a vessel for this content to come through and share with the rest of the world. And by the way, 1 billion people in China know the stuff that I'm sharing with people in the English-speaking world. So,
no, it's great. It's funny because that was my first reaction. I was like, great, highest form of flattery. Complimenting, or copying someone's the highest form of flattery.
Imitation is the best form of highest form of flattery. And then out of curiosity, I went over to TikTok. And
interesting.
And he also word perfect copying my videos on TikTok.
So wild.
Yeah. And so, after a day or two, and I was completely calm when I did this, I blocked him.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to protect
yeah.
my peace, and I just don't want him to have access to me anymore. Though, of course, if he wants to listen to the podcast, fine.
Yeah.
But then I just thought, this is a blessing. It's
totally.
I'm going to take it as a great compliment.
Well, you're clearly doing something that's working.
Yeah. And
Right?
and actually it helped me learn from it. And I feel that because of this, I grew to a next level.
Totally though. Totally. And how cool that you could see the two parts of you. What younger Sarah would have done and what
40-year-old.
you do now. Exactly. Exactly. No, I really think to me, when someone starts copying you, I'm like, wow, you've made it. There's two lessons in that. I also think that protecting your peace and blocking him is great. Because it's like, no, I wish you no ill will, but this is going to bother me. So like, I'm going to cut it here. But good for you.
Yeah.
40-year-old you.
I know. 40-year-old me, everybody.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
Going into this year, is there anything that you really want, or is there like an intention? I always feel like for birthdays for me, I'm like, okay, I try and think of a word or something that I want in the new
Motherhood.
year. Ooh, I love that. I love that.
One word, motherhood. I'm so ready.
I'm so excited for you.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Oh, that's exciting.
All right, let's jump into some of these follower questions.
Perfect.
Please discuss wine in Asian culture versus America. You know, my etiquette school in China that I was running, we actually had a wine course. And we would compare Western toasting etiquette with Chinese toasting etiquette because it is so different.
How?
Okay, so, I mean, there are so many things to go into, but I'll share 3 simple points. Number 1, when Americans toast, when people toast in the West, they raise their wine glass up high. In China, that is the worst thing you can do. In China, you should lower your wine glass to show respect for the other person and and that you have humility. In fact, if in China, when you're toasting with somebody and you raise your wine glass, you're basically saying, I think that I'm better than you.
So you lift it up, but just keep it here.
No, you actually lower it. It's almost like a race to the bottom of the table.
Oh.
Like you lower it. So for example, let's say you and I both, okay, and this is why all of you should watch our YouTube clips.
Yeah.
So let's say we're moving into toast.
Okay.
I would lower and you would lower. Yeah, exactly. So you're like trying to out-lower each other
Whoa.
until you hit the bottom of the table. Or if there's a clear like leader and fall, you know, so let's say in the company, it's like a boss and a subordinate. Or if it's a young person with an older person, right? You want to show respect to the older person.
Let them lower.
Then the more senior person, well, they'll still lower it, but they'll stop just enough, right? And then so to make sure that the more junior person is actually lower by like an inch or whatever.
Wow. Oh, they let the junior person be lower.
Yeah, I mean you so let's say like so let's say I'm older than you, right? It's okay. So I'm the more senior person because I'm older.
Yeah.
Right. So we're toasting and we're lowering. And so I would, you know, it's clear I'm lowering, but you would make sure that you end up lower than me.
Wow.
And I would stop at a point.
That's fascinating. Huh. Was it a total, I mean, did you know coming here that people, or were you like, what the heck?
Well, in Hong Kong, it's very westernized. So people raise the glass. And then, you know, I studied in the States and I worked in New York City in finance as an investment banking analyst. So it was all raising the glass. It wasn't until I moved to mainland China, to Beijing in 2012, and then was doing a lot of entertaining that I had to learn this stuff on the fly. Wow. So I was making all sorts of mistakes.
That's so interesting. Huh. Okay, I'm going to start doing that.
In fact, if you, and maybe you know what, guys, so look at the photos. I'm going to grab the photos and put them on the video. Photos of Xi Jinping entertaining other government leaders. There's photos of Xi Jinping with Obama, and they're toasting, and you'll see Xi Jinping has his wine glass lower than Obama's.
Wow.
Also another one of Xi Jinping with the Queen Elizabeth, the late Queen.
Yeah.
Again, he's making sure his is lower than hers. Wow. So it's a sign of respect and humility to the other.
That is so fascinating. Leader. I love that.
A second fun point on the difference in wine culture is that in China, you never drink wine alone. And so, for example, in the West, right, let's say we're having dinner and our wine's on our table. I'll just have a sip whenever I want to. And you won't, you know, you wouldn't be bothered. You wouldn't change your behavior based on me drinking wine. In China, you never drink wine alone. You always drink it together. It is a social thing. So
that's so interesting.
If you go to a meal in China and there's wine or alcohol served, you'll notice as soon as you lift your glass, everybody else around the table is lifting with you because they think you want to toast them. And so they're thinking, oh, okay, Sara Jane wants to toast me. Let me raise my wine glass too. So we'll all toast together and we all drink together. So when I first moved to China and I was, eating my steak, and then I would, pick up my red wine to have a sip, I was like, whoa, hang on, like there's like en masse raising and everybody's moving in to toast me. And I was like, okay. And then it would happen every single time. So now I just know I really only just drink wine when I want to toast somebody or it's going to be like a whole thing.
Wow. That's very interesting.
And
definitely hard no on you being home alone, drinking wine alone.
Nobody in China opens a bottle of wine on their own, unless they're extremely westernized at that point. Yeah.
Wow.
And also in China, you don't sip your wine. You throw it back like a shot glass. So when wine is served, and listen, my husband speaks no English. Like he's from a 2.5-tier city in China. And in fact, it's when you go to those little cities, the further away from the capital or from the big cities, that there's more excess. Yeah, there's way more excess. Wow. And when you're drinking Mao Tai or like it's always like, very expensive red or white, usually red wine. Burgundy's the thing now in China. It's poured. So in a normal wine glass, you'd pour maybe half, right? So it's half full.
Yeah.
In China, each one is poured about a shot amount. So it almost looks a little empty, your glass.
Wow.
Because every time you shoot it back. You toast it and then you shoot it back. And
That's
then it's
crazy
immediately
because you don't even really taste it that way.
Yeah. So again, it's funny. It's just adopted differently.
Yeah, that's so interesting. You don't really drink wine, do you?
I used to. Now I just, since doing shamanic healing and journeys, and a lot of people in the community have told me this, that once you start journeying, you basically stop drinking. Because I used to drink a lot in my 20s. I was a huge club girl. I still love music, still love clubbing. I just drink water.
Yeah.
And what you realize is actually alcohol is really bad for you. It kills off those brain cells and they don't grow back.
Yeah. Well, when we were talking about this the other day, and I actually had this last night, I had to memorize some sides to tape for something, and I was going to pour myself a glass of red wine, and I was like, no, because I can't memorize when I drink. Like, I can't remember anything. So I'm like, just have sparkling water or something. Yeah. So it's made me drink less doing the acting thing and having to memorize stuff, too. Like, I don't want to. It's fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah.
You really can't remember.
And once you start doing shamanic healing and journeys or plant-based medicine, when you drink alcohol, it interferes with that experience.
It numbs, and you want to feel. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I will not be doing shots of wine. Sorry.
In China, unfortunately, I have to.
Wow.
Because my husband is doing that all day long when he's entertaining government officials.
Okay, when I go with you, I will do shots of
you're
wine.
going to be doing a lot of shots of all sorts of things.
Fascinating.
Next question. What do you recommend for people who need to gain weight? Eat a late dinner.
But then it would probably interfere with sleep, no?
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
Because for those of you who've seen the previous episode about losing weight, the key is, and this is the reason people in China eat dinner at 5 or 6 p.m., an early dinner, in order to lose or maintain weight. So if you eat a late dinner, you gain weight. Now, if you want to gain weight in a healthy way, that only happens when your body can transform food into energy and substance efficiently. So in TCM, being underweight or having difficulty gaining weight, which usually is the case more for men than for women, I believe, it reflects either a spleen Qi deficiency.
I'm sorry, I have to tell you this because I'm like, literally, my friend called me the other day and was like, have you ever talked about like spleen Qi with your acupuncturist? And I go, no, but that's so funny because I'm going to see Sara Jane on Wednesday. And wow. So anyways, I'm so glad you're talking about this.
Yeah, so being underweight is either a spleen Qi deficiency, a yang deficiency, or a yin or blood deficiency.
Interesting.
Now remember, spleen is what assists your stomach in digestion. Okay, and so the spleen Qi deficiency is the most common. In Mandarin, we call it pi qi xu, or in Cantonese, we call it pei hou. Don't you love the fact I can speak Mandarin and Canto fluently?
I love it. I'm like, what are you saying?
Because we have a lot of Asian, I think American-born Chinese, and some Asian listeners. So
I love it.
Educating you guys in the Chinese characters. Now, how do you know if you have a spleen Qi deficiency? Well, poor appetite, bloating after meals, loose stools, fatigue, cold hands, cold feet. Your spleen and stomach are responsible for transforming food into qi and blood. So when they're weak, nutrients aren't being absorbed. properly.
Interesting.
And so the goal for that is to keep your tummy warm, right? So don't go around wearing crop tops, sexy crop tops, because you should be keeping your tummy warm. You want to strengthen your digestion, and you want to eat warm and nourishing foods.
And so I want to ask you, because this is why my friend Michael was asking me about this. I'm curious if it's true. He was like, I feel like our personalities, his and mine, often have a like spleen Qi deficiency because we're so like go, go, go. Very,
Type A
yes.
achiever. So you know what? Most of the world now is on a spleen Qi deficiency because we're not eating with our body clocks anymore. We're working overtime. Now, in fact, with work from home, we're working all the time.
Yeah, totally.
So
always on.
Most people listening to this podcast are spleen Qi deficient.
Wow.
Now, the second one is yang deficiency, which we call yang xu or que yang, where you're lacking yang. And that's if you have cold hands, cold feet, right? Cold limbs, you're tired, you're looking pale. So I would say Brian Johnson, he is the epitome of yang deficiency.
Hilarious.
Because he looks pale.
He doesn't look well.
Cold limbs, he looks tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he needs to warm the yang. He needs
warm it up,
yang.
Brian.
Warm it up. And then the third one is yin or blood deficiency, which we call yin xu or xue xu, which means you're basically lacking blood. And you'll see this in a lot of those, you know, the people who are really thin and wiry and anxious.
Totally.
Yeah, they have yin or blood deficiency. And a lot of times they'll have dry skin, insomnia, dizziness, irritability. And the goal for them is to nourish blood and yin for tissue building and calmness. Basically, no matter what you have, everything goes back to eating cooked and warm foods.
And I bet your morning tea would do really well for Miss Blood Deficient over here.
Indeed, the goji berry, red date, ginger, everything tea.
It's been my new everything. I have it in my mug right now.
Oh, wow. That's great.
I really have been super religious with it, and I find I don't need a second coffee during the day.
Yeah.
Because my one thing, and I know you would disapprove of this, but I can't get away from my iced
Your
coffee
iced
in the
coffee?
morning. It's my one thing.
And that's a big one. That's like a double.
This is,
soda.
and I usually won't go this big, but my boyfriend did get this for me this morning. Thank you, Boo, because I have a long day. But I'll do my one, and then I drink that tea warm throughout the day or hot, and I have so much energy.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful.
Everybody should try it if you haven't already.
Give it a go.
The recipe is on my Instagram feed somewhere.
Somewhere.
And of course, the other thing you can do, which you can always do for anything really, is to find a TCM doctor and have them give you customized herbal formulations. In fact, every day, somebody asks me for a TCM doctor recommendation in their local city. And guys, I'm going to repeat it here. This is how I found some of my practitioners in the States, and I've been nothing but happy with them, to go on Apple Maps or Yelp. I prefer Apple Maps, and just put in traditional Chinese medicine or acupuncture nearby. And the ratings are actually, they're very representative. I found my acupuncturist that way. I found massage places that way, and nothing but happy.
Love. Mm-hmm. Yeah, people are good with their reviews.
Yeah.
I really find that.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Next question. Do you have a congee recipe you can share? I actually have my stepmother's. Yeah, as long as I'm back in Hong Kong, there's always a pot of, or a rice cooker full of congee in my apartment waiting for me that she's put over there.
Oh, that's sweet.
She's really amazing. So this is her recipe, guys. Sara Jane's stepmother's congee recipe. Half a cup of rice. And by the way, this is good for about 4 to 5 bowls of congee, so for 1 to 2 people. And we like to make it fresh, although of course you can stick it in the fridge and reheat it, but it's not ideal. So a 1/4 cup of rice, you wash the rice, as you should always do, and then you add 1/2 a teaspoon or a couple drops of oil, and then you add a pinch of salt, and you let all this soak for about 15 to 30 minutes before cooking. So you make sure that there's enough water to cover the rice to soak it. And the point is, because you're making congee, you're not making rice, right? So if you're making congee, you want to make sure that the rice is creamy and smooth for the congee. And soaking it for 15 to 30 minutes before cooking makes all the difference. In the beginning, when I was in my young 20s trying to do congee on my own, I was like, why is it still so rice piecey? It wasn't creamy and smooth. And my stepmother's like, well, because you're not soaking it. Okay, so then after this half hour of soaking, and if you're in a rush, you can do 15 minutes, you add water or remove whatever water, but make sure the water level is just a little higher than the soaked rice, because soaked rice will expand. Okay, it's already quite absorbent. And then, and you can do trial and error. So you can add more water or less water at different times, depending on how thick or thin you like it. I always add sliced ginger, and I love putting in pork bones.
Oh, yum.
Yeah, especially like the actual bone.
Yeah.
And it's better you want to blanch the pork bones before you put them into the congee, and then just cook for 90 minutes on the rice cooker congee function. Every good Chinese household has a rice cooker, and I personally believe that every person needs a rice cooker, and usually the rice cooker has a congee setting. So you just hit that congee setting, or if you're doing it old school in a pot on your own, just have it at simmer for 90 minutes. And you can always check on it, right? And then afterwards, you can always add salt to taste. And it is the best weight loss food. It is the best hangover food. Congee is also just really like that heartwarming. If you feel you're coming down with a flu, a cold, you're not well, that's what Chinese people eat.
And you'll do white rice with that, right?
White rice.
Love. I feel like I already kind of do that. I don't like rice. I like mushy rice, so I kind of cook my rice that way.
Well, great. Now you just got to add a couple more things.
Love.
Woo.
I like the pork bones. Yum, I'm going to do that.
Next question. Oh, by the way, pork bones are not easy to find.
Really?
Yeah, in Erewhon and blah, blah, blah.
I would go to a Asian market.
Yeah, you need to go to Asian market, HMart, or is it We, the name of that?
I think so.
App.
Or M. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys were talking about it the other week. I forgot.
Yeah, they deliver Chinese food. So pork bones. Got to find a good pork bone. And if you're at a market, ask them, what is the best pork bone for making soup? Because that is the one that's great for also making congee. Next question. What is your take on exercise for women in perimenopause? Oh, Qi Gong and Tai Chi.
Oh.
And for women in perimenopause, your exercise should soothe and nourish. It should not exhaust you. And that's very anti to the Western idea, which is, we gotta like exhaust my body and da-da-da-da. So even for me, I do Barry's, but the week right around my period, the week before my period and during my period, I lay off.
You won't,
because you're not supposed to exhaust yourself. And so the biggest myth that America's given us is that we need to push our bodies to the brink and exhaust ourselves. And when you're young, you can still get away with it, but when you're nearing 40, your body cannot. I can tell you that for sure because I am 40.
I mean, I've even found that my body looks the most fit and lean when I don't do the HIIT classes, when I'm just doing yoga and Pilates and walking and like mellow, not intense. I don't think women are meant to do intense. I really don't. Yeah. Like all those studies are on men.
It's true. Yeah. And I feel my body looks better, like sort of slim cut and athletic as well when I do yoga and Pilates.
Yeah. It's less on the bones. It's not as intense. So, and especially like you said around your period, like, no.
Yeah. And for women in perimenopause, which remember, a woman technically goes into perimenopause at the age of 45 and full-blown menopause at the age of 51. But Oprah did have an expert on her show a few months ago who said that women in their 30s are now going into perimenopause, which is very scary. And I think that did start with me a few years ago. So perimenopause responds to gradual changes in your kidney yin deficiency. That leads to hot flashes, night sweats, dry mouth, insomnia. Also corresponds to changes in liver Qi stagnation. That leads to irritability, mood swings, breast tenderness. And our good old spleen Qi deficiency, which leads to fatigue, bloating, and weight gain, right? When you gain weight around the middle, that's like the perimenopause, menopausal sign. So for TCM's goal, it is to nourish your kidney yin, move your liver Qi, strengthen your spleen, and calm the heart. So why do I say Qi Gong and Tai Chi are the best? Because they're actually two of the most profound movement arts in TCM and Taoist culture. They actually both look very similar. They're slow, they're mindful, they're flowing, but they do have different origins and goals. My father does Qi Gong, And
Of course he does.
of
I
course
love
he
your
does.
dad.
I know.
I'm like, I need to meet your dad. I would love to meet him.
My dad even teaches a bunch of his friends now for fun.
Of course he does. I love him.
So Qi Gong is energy work for healing and vitality. And Tai Chi is more about moving meditation and martial application. Both of them look very easy, but within minutes you are sweating like none other. All you need to do is 20 or 30 minutes daily, ideally in the morning sunlight or when it's evening calm. And the really cool thing about Qi Gong, which if those of you want to increase your energy and be able to open your third eye or really read people with energy, is that as you practice Qi Gong, your vibration will increase and you'll become much more sensitive to energy. I have an auntie in Hong Kong, and she took a Qi Gong class with my parents under Master Ma, who's their Hong Kong master. And she actually is CEO of a company, very big company. And when she would interview people, she said she could read them within the first 30 seconds.
Whoa.
And so just by energy. And she said she'd turn people away. She told her HR department, no, his health is really bad. His health is too bad.
Wow.
And she could just read that from the energy. And one candidate came in, she said, do you have a shoulder pain? And he said, yes. And she said, yeah, because my shoulder hurts right now. Just from sitting with you, my shoulder hurts.
Ooh.
And how
That's a very intuitive person.
powerful. Yeah, and that's what Qi Gong can do for you.
Wow.
She's also really into feng shui, my Auntie Annie.
Maybe Auntie Annie should come on the show.
I know. I remember she told us that a feng shui master told her she would be hospitalized in a certain month. Maybe it was like March, let's say. So what she did was, on the first day of March, she checked herself into a hospital and stayed the night in order to game the system.
That is brilliant, actually. Instead of being petrified of like, when's it going to happen?
She was ahead of it.
God, I love her.
Yeah, and then she checked out.
This is your mom's mom or your dad's? Or your mom's sister?
My mom's former colleague who then became a family friend.
Love.
So in Hong Kong, in Asian cultures, we call anybody who's senior to you auntie and uncle.
Cute.
Yeah, they're not necessarily blood related.
I love that.
And for those of you who are in perimenopause or menopause, walking is also great. I mean, walking is just great for everybody. Chinese people love to walk. Essentially, just look at what to avoid, right? What you want to avoid is overexertion, which is sweating excessively or long cardio sessions, because that drains your yin and your jing. Your jing is your essence. You also want to avoid high-intensity workouts, right? So that's, Kelsey, that's your HIIT, HIIT. Especially during hot flashes, because it can worsen your internal heat. And you want to avoid late-night exercise, because that disrupts your yin resting time, and your kidneys and liver need to rejuvenate at night.
I love it.
All right, guys, that is it today on my birthday week from me and Kelsey. Send me a happy birthday.
I was going to
It'll
say.
make my day.
Send her all the happy birthdays. Happy birthday, babe.
Thank you.
40. What is 13 going on 30? You're like 12 going on 40.
Yeah, 40. Wow.
40 years.
It's been, so it's, the actual day is December 5th. And
our Sag Queen.
It's been what? It's been 8 months now since launching the podcast.
Yeah.
A year and a half of me being in LA and just loving LA.
You're thriving.
6 months of me entering my stepson's life in a big way and getting ready to be a mother to more next year.
Yeah, you're closing out 30 in a big way. I love it. I'm excited for you. So everyone send happy birthday wishes.
And, keep your questions coming.
And red envelopes, right?
Oh, yeah. I see you, I hear you, I will answer your questions, everybody. Visit my YouTube channel to watch the full episode. And if you want to support the show, which I'm sure you do, please leave a rating and a review. It'll help new listeners discover us. Thank you for tuning in to Mind Your Manners. This is your host and etiquette life guide, Sara Jane Ho. And remember, no matter what life throws at you, with me in your ear, you got this.